What's goody world? Today I'm going to teach you how to properly oil and sanitize your clipper set. The clippers I'll be disinfecting in this video is the Coil Shaver by Babyliss, the Gold FXs, the Andes GTX Exos, the Wall Professional 5-star Gold Magic Clips, and the Babyliss Pro Gold FX Trimmers. I'm going to even show you guys how to properly sanitize your razor blade and even your shears. Welcome to Swift Tips Clipper Care, brought to you by the one and only DK the Barber. Let's cut to the video. First off, let's talk about what we actually need before we get started. We're only going to need 3 things. The first thing we're going to need is some type of clipper oil. Now there's different brands you can use, but in the video this is Andes clipper oil. The second thing we're going to need is clipper disinfectant. In the video I'm using Cool Care. The third thing we're going to need is an air compressor. Now wait, if you don't have an air compressor, stay tuned. I'll give you guys different options and alternatives later on in the video. But let's start off with our Andes GTX Exo trimmers. First off, you want to analyze the clipper to see where we're actually going to lay the oil and disinfectant. Now that we analyze the clippers and we know what we're working with, let's pull out our air compressor. Like I said before, if you don't have an air compressor, don't stress, don't worry. I have a different method. Stay tuned, and I promise guys I will show you later on in the video. But I want you to clean off the clippers as best as you can, making sure there's no hair or debris. Let's pull out our clipper disinfectant. In the video I'm using Cool Care by Andes. So spray down your clipper blade and actually turn your clippers in a 360 motion, getting the entire clipper blade. Make sure you submerge the clipper blade in the liquid. You can even turn on the clippers. Don't be afraid guys, your clippers will be safe. Last but not least, I like to apply the oil. So turn off the clippers and make sure you apply 3 drops of oil in these 3 areas, okay? You want to make sure you do 2 on each side of the blade and 1 in the middle. So 3 altogether, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle like shown in the video. And then what you want to do after you get these 3 drops on your clipper is turn on your clippers and allow that oil to fully submerge in the clipper blade. You want to do this at the end of the day, especially if you're a busy barber. Do this at the end of the day. Make sure your clippers are clean, then do this and allow your clippers to sit in the oil overnight, and I promise you it won't be too oily. And even if it is, just wipe it down like I'm doing in the video with a towel. Maybe hit it with a Clorox wipe and you'll be good. But remember, there's only 3 mandatory things you need: clipper oil, clipper disinfectant, and an air compressor. Now that these clippers are fully clean, disinfected, and ready to go, let's move on to the next step, okay? Now, like I said, and like I was saying about the air compressor, if you don't have this, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna take it back old school. Pull out a thick bristle brush, and what you're going to want to do is dust off all your clippers with this brush, okay? Make sure the clippers is not turned on when you're brushing the clipper and all the hair off your clippers, because the clippers will slowly become damaged, and not just that, it will cut the little bristles on your brush, damaging both your clippers and the brush. So let's keep that from happening by keeping the clippers off while brushing the debris and hair off the clippers. After we make sure the clippers are clean, let's go ahead and spray the clippers down with the clipper disinfectant. Shortly after, you want to turn the clippers on, get that motor running, turn it back off, and let's add the clipper oil. Remember guys, no matter what clipper we're working with, we're pretty much putting the oil in the same spots. The only thing and only exception would be the coil shaver, but let's wait to the end of the video to get to that, okay? Once we add that oil to the clippers, you're going to want to turn on your clippers and play with the lever on the side of the clippers, allowing the oil to sit. Do this for 20 to 30 seconds, allowing the clipper oil to fully submerge within the blades. You can even take it a step further and tilt your clippers from left to right, allowing the clipper oil to fully submerge and move within the clipper and the clipper blades. Now the brush won't get in these areas. Let's take a closer look. So what you got to do if you don't have an air compressor in these areas is maybe use like an old shoebox, a cardboard cutout, and stick the little piece through that. Maybe get one of those spray can of airs they use for keyboard computers and spray that, and you can get the hair out that way. You can always do it the old school way and take the actual blade apart. It is time consuming, so make sure you do it at the end of the day. Let's hop into the Gold FX Skeleton by Babyliss, alright? Make sure we air it off. We're going to go back to the air compressor since we have it, okay? Since we have the air compressor, we're going to do it. Air it off, get the debris, repeat the same steps. We're going to spray it down, okay? We spraying this bad boy down. We getting it nice and wet, nice and clean. That wet, that drippity drip drop drop. Let's go. Okay, sorry guys, I got excited, took a little break, and I'm back in it. I'm in it to win it. Let's go. Let's make sure it's submerged. Make sure you get the in and outside of the blade with the clipper disinfectant. Let's jump to the clipper oil. 3 drops, same steps, different clippers. We're going to keep it simple because at the end of the day, you're going to have a set of clippers and you're going to want to make this process very fast, simple, brief, and you're going to want to make it as efficient as possible. This is going to help your clippers not just run better, but last longer. Not only will this make your life as the barber easier, but it will make your experience, and especially more importantly, your client's experience, even better. For me personally, I always took sanitation seriously. I just have a rest of conscience when I know my clippers are properly disinfected, so my clients can rest assured that they're in safe hands. I think sanitation, especially for beginning barbers, is often overlooked. But let's hop into the next step. Shears. Speaking about things that are overlooked, most of the time, these bad boys are often overlooked when it comes to being oiled and sanitized. So I'm going to teach you right now. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first off you want to do is make sure all hair and debris is off the shears. We're going to treat it the same as if they were some clippers, okay? But instead of opening and closing the lever on the side of your clippers, you're going to go ahead and open and close the shears while rotating. You're going to use this same technique while spraying the disinfectant as well. When spraying the disinfectant on your shears, you want to mainly target the blades and the center of the shears where the 2 blades connect. Now that they're disinfected, let's lubricate these bad boys up. So like I said before, where the 2 blades meet, that's where you're going to want to apply the oil. So let's apply a little drippity drop on this side and a little drippity drop on the other side. I like to do both sides to make sure the oil sets. Just like we rotated, open, and close the blade on the clippers as we were oiling the blades, you're going to do the same thing with your shears, making sure that oil spreads throughout the entire shears. Now that these are oiled up, disinfected, and ready to go for my next haircut, let's move on to the next step, or should I say next utensil. One of my favorite utensils out of all of the things that are in my barber toolbox, the razor blade. Now the razor blade in the video is for disposable razors. You would actually put the disposable razor here, but right now we ain't worried about all that. We worried about disinfecting this bad boy. Real quick, can I say this fly that keeps on coming in the shot is a real I've been trying to edit him out the video, and man, I tried guys, I'm sorry. I'm sure he's gonna pop back up, so let's go ahead and give the fly a name. His name is Fabio. Sorry guys, Fabio got me flying off track. Get it? Nah guys, let's get back on track, seriously. So you want to use this stuff when disinfecting your clips and even your razor. You want to mix it with some water. Make sure you do like 1 capful to about a half a gallon of water. Have you ever walked in a barber shop and you see that little glass jar sitting on the back of the barber station? Well, that's called quartz, and it's a really strong disinfectant. You can even put your brushes in there. Now of course you would have to rinse the brush with some type of soap and water, but I highly suggest you guys read the directions on the back because there's different brands and different brands have different directions, so make sure you follow the directions. Let's progress to the next step, the FX Babyless Coil Shaver. Just like we did with all the other utensils, let's analyze this bad boy. So let's go ahead and pop the top off and see what we're working with. So on the left side we have the coil part of the coil shaver. On the right side we actually have the blades. Don't forget to say hi to Fabio. Now the blades actually detach, but you don't got to do all that to disinfect. This isn't a review, this is actually just a clipper care video, so let's get just to that. Let's make sure all the debris and hair is off the coil part of the coil shaver and the blade part of the coil shaver, okay? Once this is done, you want to spray down the blade, both blade and the coil part of the coil shaver with the disinfectant spray. Now you see those little drippity drip drops? You want to actually lay some oil, which is the last step, within the coil shaver. 1 drop on the left side, 1 drop on the right side. In the video it's actually top to bottom, so 1 drop on the top, 1 drop on the bottom. Just like shown in the video, I like to rub the oil into the coil part of the coil shaver. Now let's go ahead and set that down and get to the blade part of the coil shaver. Right here you don't really got to do much, you just got to make sure all the debris and hair is pretty much cleared off, and then I like to spray this down with the Cool Care. So there's a good reason I actually don't use clipper oil within the blades of the coil shaver. If too much clipper oil gets between the blades of a coil shaver, what happens is the hair and the oil will end up clunking up together because the hair within the coil shaver is really fine. It's almost like a powder form. Let's go ahead and slap the top back on these bad boys and really let that oil set. You know, just like all the other clippers, you want to turn them on and really let that oil spread. Sometimes I go as far as rubbing it in like shown in the video. I like to do this to prevent the hair and the oil from clunking up. Trust me, this can be very problematic in the future, so you can prevent this by doing these little small steps. Now rub all excess oil off this babyless coil shaver and let's set these bad boys down. Now we're coming up to the end of the video, guys, I'm not gonna lie, but let's go ahead and do a quick recap. All you need is clipper disinfectant, clipper oil, and preferably an air compressor. But remember, if you don't got that, use a brush. If I helped you in any type of way, shape, or form, shoot a thumbs up. Peace, love, positivity. Share this video with somebody that can benefit from it. Share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the education. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Gotta go, Fabio. Ha.